How's it going, guys? Today I'm going to show you what it's like to drive the manual Lotus Emira from a first-person point of view. Not only does the manual make for an incredible driving experience, check out Lotus's presentation. Now, of course, the silver shift knob is fantastic and feels great, but check this out. You can actually see through this mesh window all of the mechanics of the gear shifter. And when you actually shift back and forth, you can see the linkage itself moving, which is so darn cool. The Emira has two different engine options, either a 2-liter 4-cylinder made by Mercedes-AMG, or this, a 3.5-liter 6-cylinder that's supercharged and produces 400 horsepower and 317 pound-feet of torque. And how awesome is this? In the engine bay area, we actually have 5.3 cubic feet of storage space, making this relatively practical. And one of my favorite parts, this right here, the throttle actuator can be seen when you're on the gas. It moves back and forth. Check this out. Even the key for the Emira is cool. It feels great in your hand. It actually has the shape of an Emira for the trunk release, but check this out. On the side, it says for the drivers, letting you know this is all about the driving experience. With a 0 to 60 time of under 4.5 seconds and a 3,200 pound curb weight, this car is all about performance, but it also happens to look spectacular. Kind of a mini Lotus Evija hypercar, the looks are incredible and stand out leagues above its competition like a Porsche Cayman. I just love these exhaust tips too. They look so aggressive. The interior is where Lotus has taken a massive step forward. Look at the speaker system, for instance. They've also made the door sill smaller and thinner to make it easier to get in and out of the car. I love these gorgeous leather bucket seats, and they're also power adjustable. The steering wheel feels amazing in your hand with that squared off shape. Let's go ahead and hop inside. Now, to start the Lotus Emira, we've got this Lamborghini fighter jet style flip up switch. Click the start button, and that supercharged V6 fires on. Honestly, the engine sounds so good. Listen to this. I love the supercharger whine. We've got a really nice touchscreen infotainment system and a really nice instrument cluster as well. Some of the buttons are actually lifted off of Volvo because their parent company owns both, but they feel amazing to the touch. Everything in here is really high quality, a huge improvement from previous Lotuses. Now we've got the drive mode selector here. If we go ahead and flip through the different drive modes, we've got Tour, Sport, and Track. Now, when we're in track mode, we've got this horizontal tachometer that looks amazing. Let's rev it again. And it even says, right in between here, shift when you are supposed to shift. Now, on the infotainment screen, we've got awesome little widgets. We've got a performance G meter here. We even have a lap timer as well. And I gotta show you one last time that throttle actuator. That is just so darn cool. We also have wireless Apple CarPlay in here. We've got USB and USB-C ports, cup holders. This thing is honestly really practical. All right, let's take it for a spin. But before we continue, I'd like to thank the sponsor of today's video, OBDeleven. Why take your car into the dealer for an expensive diagnosis when you could do it yourself? OBDeleven is an officially licensed smart vehicle assistant that allows BMW and Volkswagen Group owners to diagnose their vehicles and even customize them using their smartphone. Just connect the device to your vehicle's OBD2 port, download an app, and connect via Bluetooth. Not only can you read the codes to see what's wrong with the car and clear them, clearly Shane has quite a few issues with his car right now, you can also customize your car in ways that you wouldn't even believe. How crazy is this? So currently, when your seatbelt is not on, the parking brake will not release and you can't drive the car. If you wanted to turn that off for whatever reason, you can click this button right here and turn that off. Right now, if you veer out of a lane, it'll vibrate slightly with the steering wheel, but you can actually make that stronger or less strong using this app as well. And instead of having a sedan on the screen, why don't we turn it into an Avant like this RS6 is? We click that, and then all of a sudden when we go to drive select, there you go, RS6. Pro users even have access to live data, coding, adaptations, and SFD unlocking. So head to the link in the description below to get yourself an officially licensed OBDeleven scan tool for your BMW or Volkswagen Group vehicle. Launch control in the Lotus Emira. We're gonna put the car into track mode. You have to press and hold traction control off for 2 seconds, which is kind of annoying. I wish there was a dedicated button, but it is what it is. Put the car in first gear and off we go. to 60 in under 4.5 seconds, but it feels quicker than that. It honestly is so capable, and with that supercharger, the torque feels like it comes in a lot lower than something like a Cayman GTS. For about the same price, you can get a Cayman GTS that has 5 less horsepower than this car, which is probably why they tuned it to 400 horsepower instead of 395. It's got the exact same torque figure at 316 pound-feet, but this feels like it comes in a lot sooner in the rev range. Even with traction control entirely off, this car feels so stable. I got to experience this car during car week in an automatic, but the manual is where it's at. Now, honestly, the automatic really impressed me. It was a lot better than I was anticipating, but obviously, if you're gonna get a Lotus, get it with a manual transmission. I love the fact that it's got a shift indicator light on the tachometer that actually just says shift at you. It literally says shift on the screen. The pedals are spaced so nicely apart, so you can heel-toe downshift really easily, something that I'm not all that good at, but the Lotus makes it a breeze. Now, the manual transmission is good, but I will say, the shift linkage is a little bit notchier than I would like. It almost feels a bit crunchy when you put it into gear. But man, the grip levels are really impressive. Now this is the Tour Spec version, which comes with Bridgestone tires and slightly softer suspension. You can feel that there's a little bit of body roll, but that makes this car a lot more comfortable and compliant when you're driving it around the road for daily driving. If I had a choice, I would definitely go for the Track Spec. It's a no-cost option, and that gives you Cup 2 tires as well as stiffer suspension. And I think that's the way to go with the Emira, because at the end of the day, this is a sports car. It does have a decent amount of practicality. We've got that trunk in the back with 5 cubic feet of storage space, 7.5 cubic feet behind the seats. But man, it's almost hard to talk when you're driving this thing because it's so damn exhilarating. Oh man, this thing is a whole bunch of fun. Now, we don't have electronic power assisted steering, it's hydraulic, so it feels a lot better than most sports cars. I will say, they have refined the steering a bit, so you don't feel a bunch of bumps in the road, and you don't get quite the level of communication, honestly, that I was expecting and that you get in previous generation Lotuses, but it makes it a lot more suitable for driving it more often. And it's not just a pure canyon carber and track weapon. You can actually enjoy this thing on the street. As I mentioned before, this of course is the Tour Spec, but I don't believe there's any tuning differences in the steering between the Tour and the Sport. You do just get that better tire setup and the stiffer suspension, which would be welcomed in this environment, but having driven this for the last couple of days, it's such a good daily driver, honestly. And man, those pedals are so nicely spaced for heel and toe. You start to get used to the shifter a little more after several days of driving, but I do wish it was a little bit smoother in between shifts. I think it would make the driving experience just that much nicer. And I could use a little bit more steering feel. But other than that, man, I don't really have any complaints about this car. I think if I was gonna spend 100 grand on a new coupe, this is the one to get. I would prefer this over a Cayman GTS. Honestly, I think this looks better. It's more exotic looking. You know, with the Cayman, you're always kind of getting the, why didn't you get a 911? And just looks wise, even if the Cayman was priced above the 911 and was a better car in some alternate reality, I don't really love the way the Cayman looks. The GT4 RS takes things to another level, but that's obviously significantly more expensive than this car. It's honestly, it really is like an exotic car experience without the price tag. I just stopped at the gas station. People were taking pictures. I've gotten lots of thumbs up on the road in this car. People don't really know what it is because Lotus obviously isn't as established of a brand in modern times as something like Porsche. Obviously, they have incredible racing heritage, and for people in the know, they make absolutely incredible handling cars. And they've done such a good job at upgrading the interior as well. Before, in something like the Evora and of course the Elise, it was a really good sports car, really lightweight, but it didn't feel like a premium car. This feels like a premium luxury car. Honestly, you could have this interior in a supercar that costs $200,000, $300,000, $400,000 and feel like it was money well spent. I love the display. The instrument cluster is fantastic. I love that in track mode, it's got that horizontal layout to it. The pedals are spaced so properly. It's got a 6-speed manual transmission. And the 6-speed automatic transmission is really good as well. So if you can't drive a manual, I do encourage you to learn, because it is truly awesome. But if you really don't want to and you drive in traffic a ton, totally understand. You can get an automatic in this car and you can still have a bunch of fun. Even though it has a torque converter, they did such a good job with the automatic transmission in this car. Let's do a couple more acceleration pulls and windy roads, and then let's put it into normal mode. It is so well balanced. There's really neither understeer nor oversteer in the corners. It feels so predictable. Even when you push it a little bit faster than you should through the corner, it's got this safety factor that keeps you in check. Oh my God, this thing is awesome. So nimble. It's not insanely lightweight at 3,200 pounds, but it still feels really, really light on its feet. It begs the question, what would this thing be like if it was 2,700 pounds? But obviously you're not gonna get some of the creature comforts like having Apple CarPlay and really nice luxurious seats, etc., if they're gonna start to shave all of that weight out of the car. Now let's go ahead and put it into normal mode. I honestly found myself, especially in this tour spec, just driving the car in the city around in tour mode. In track mode, because I didn't find it too jarring. The exhaust sounds better, everything is just tighter and more responsive. But in normal mode, it's even more relaxed and comfortable. It's a really nice driving experience. Now, some people are gonna complain, well, how could you possibly choose a Lotus with a Camry V6 over a Porsche flat 6? Well, a couple reasons for that. One, the torque comes in much, much earlier, so it feels quicker when you're driving it on the road. 2, it's going to be incredibly reliable. And 3, it's a very bulletproof engine. People have tuned these engines with a stock bottom end, stock block, just upgraded pulley or upgraded supercharger into the 700-800 wheel horsepower range. And could you imagine what this thing would be like with 800 wheel? That would be absolutely ridiculous. Visibility is fantastic in this car. It's so easy to place on the road. Honestly, anyone could drive it. And I love the fact that in the rear view mirror, I don't know if you can see it on the camera, you can see that throttle actuator move back and forth as you get on the gas, which is just so satisfying. I also absolutely love the shape of the steering wheel. It's kind of squared off, but also round at the same time. The grips at 9 and 3 are phenomenal. Everything about the seating position is amazing in this car. Now, when I adjust the steering wheel exactly where I want it to be, which is a little bit lower than this, it does kind of block off the instrument cluster a little bit. Now, as you get more and more used to this car, you can feel and hear when you need to shift, so it's not gonna be that big of a deal, and I think that has a lot to do with just my exact height. If I was a little bit taller or a little bit shorter, I think that wouldn't be a problem whatsoever. So to end this review, we're gonna put it back into track mode and let you listen to it without me talking. I'm in love with this car. I think it's one of the best products Lotus has ever made. It makes me really excited for the future of this brand. I hope you guys enjoyed today's video. Like always, please browse the channel and subscribe. I look forward to seeing you next video. supercharger sounds so good. Honestly, this engine sounds incredible.